This is Tapped In. My name is Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and today we're going to be discussing the new white belt. And sometimes I feel like this culture tends to look down at white belts. We want the gym to grow, but we don't necessarily want to deal with white belts. It's fair in the extent that sometimes they're the most dangerous belts and athletes on the mats because they don't know any better. And sometimes they can be, let's just say, energetic, and they can cause some problems, injuries, and whatnot. They don't know their own strengths in some sense. They respond in like almost life or death situations, and it's not beneficial all the time. My personal philosophy is I absolutely love rolling with new white belts. I like it because, one, I get to show them how they're supposed to roll. They're supposed to respond to things, how a roll should go, how it should be conducted. So anytime I get a new person in my morning program, I tend to want to roll with them if I can. If the numbers are even, then I tend to pair them with someone that I trust that can show them the way, similar to what I would end up doing. I don't look at them as potential issues. I genuinely look at them like, oh, I get to roll with someone new. And for me as a coach and instructor, it's more about kind of analyzing their game and seeing where they're at, or what they might be adept at, testing them to do certain things. I might play a certain guard. I might see if they were paying attention in class and play the guard or the position that we were going over. So for me, it's a little more analytical. And I understand not everyone's like that. But I think that there's like three specific keys that new white belt does for people that are super beneficial. One being they expose your assumptions. They do not follow a script. So what happens with people who have been doing jiu-jitsu for a bit, we follow a certain pattern. There's gentlemen's agreements that we tend to follow. There's approaches that we adapt and adopt in how we play jiu-jitsu. For example, one that's not a good thing. A student may play off their back regularly. It's not a good thing. A student may automatically pull you into the bottom position. Sometimes when students are being swept, they accept, and then they kind of assume the position of bottom player instead of getting back up. These are all forms of gentlemen's agreements. Some of them, most of them, not a good thing. They're habits that we need to break, but we play them because of the sport that we're in, and we're having a good time. And so in that sense, not a bad thing. But I think that they also create well-walked paths that we can generally assume will happen during a roll, which isn't always a good thing. Every once in a while, I love it when I get a student visiting, or maybe someone new that I haven't rolled with at an open mat, and they give me a game that I have never seen before, or an approach that I've never seen before. I get excited. Like they may have like a knee cut that just, the process is different than any other kind of knee cut I've seen, or maybe like a roll with Professor at Sunny Dojo. He has a unique way of grabbing the arm from bottom and then like positioning it certain ways. I don't encounter that very often. When I have the back, he grabs the wrist, and he doesn't just like try to escape by bringing it to the other side. He brings it to the other side, but then he tries to press like an arm lock into it, but very casually. These are things that I don't feel from most people. These are the little like agreements that we've made where doing this technique requires us to do this. So then we get into a habit of understanding that this is what people do. So every once in a while, it's really healthy to find someone, whether it's an upper belt with a unique game or a brand new white belt who doesn't know anything, to feel that predictability so that you can test your game against it. A lot of us don't compete. A lot of us don't go out there and go to open mats, but it's super healthy to just go with the white belt, protect yourself, but see what weird shit they're just going to throw at you and see if you can handle it. So I like when I can roll with a white belt and I don't know, they break the rule and they decide that they're going to escape some weird way. It's not the most effective way, but they kind of got out anyway, like that type of thing. So then you can adapt. You can move your game to address the uncomfortableness of them not adapting to what we normally do. If you roll with a white belt and they're safe and you don't know what to do and they sort of shut your game down because they're giving you this unpredictability, that's something you may want to work on. And then there's times when I go with white belts who are brand new, they're bigger. I went with one recently, older gentleman. He swims a lot and he's super fucking strong, super strong. I played a very defensive game. I didn't let my black belt ego get to me. I understood that if I match him for strength, I'm probably going to lose this bout. And I'm going to put myself in a position that I don't want to necessarily play. Or I may get injured. So what I did was I played a very defensive-minded game. And then I waited for him to make a crucial mistake. I got to top position and I submitted him. We don't always play that way, though. Sometimes we feel that strength, that white belt strength, and we're just like, no, we got to push. I can't allow him to flex on me. I can't allow him to make me look bad. And for me, I'm just like, I hunker down and get the defense going. He's not going to submit me. He might hold the position. He might dominate positionally for most of the round. I'm okay. Now I'm going to wait till you make a solid mistake and I'm going to get the sweep. Once I get to top position, I get to now punish you. Not disrespectfully, but I get to punish you. And from there, that's when I start getting what I really want. So playing against these white belts that don't play towards the cadence of jiu-jitsu are a huge benefit for me. And I don't think we should shy away from it. I don't think we should just kind of like toss them to the side. You have to feel that. And especially the instructors, it's our job to address them and make them understand what a role should feel like. So if we're letting other people do it, sometimes they pick up bad habits. So it's really our responsibility to roll with the new people, roll with the new white belts. One, you get to see what their instincts are. You get to see how they roll. Are they safe? Do they take chances that they probably shouldn't? Maybe based on all those understandings and those data points, maybe you don't pair them up with the small 120 because you understand they're not necessarily safe and they're strong and they're kind of unpredictable in a bad way. So then you pair them up with a solid purple belt. He's how are you going to roll with him? You know, he or she can protect themselves. You know, he or she can match some of that energy without getting wild and injuring them. It's like those are the things that you have to do when you're an instructor so you can understand who to pair them with. On that note, I also think that they reveal your character or your leadership. If you're one of those people that you don't want to hang around or roll with any of the white belts, I think that's a deficiency in my opinion. I think that instructors should be rolling with white belts. They should be rolling with everyone in class or try to. But they should be setting the tone. I understand maybe you're high level and you're competing regularly and you have other goals in mind. That's fine. But really, when I'm on the mats and I'm instructing, I'm not a competitor at the moment. So I want to make sure that that white belt is getting what they need. And sometimes what they need is to be rolled up. Sometimes what they need is for you to kind of like foster a role that allows them to gain a little bit of confidence. They get a little bit of success based on what you taught them that day. You let them play a little bit. And then they move into certain directions and you understand where we're going. And you let them play. You let them gain that confidence. Not too much that they think they get full of themselves, because then you got to pull that back. But just enough for them to understand, hey, this is cooperative and I can get better at this. I'm not completely terrible. I still have a lot to learn. And you kind of like you do with your kid when you're an adult and you're playing a game with them. Like you don't just smash them. unless you start talking shit. But you don't just smash them. You kind of let them gain a little bit of confidence in the game. Maybe you let up a little bit. When I'm playing chess with my niece, I let her play. And every once in a while, and she makes a bad decision, I kind of like, do you want to make that decision? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so what happens if you move here? And I let her see the board as whole, and she could take the move back if she wants. Or if she's been playing well, I take the piece so that she understands she should have looked at the board better. So this is like this give and take. And it's your job as an instructor and as a leader to allow them to understand this so that they can grow. If you're completely mean to the white belts, you disregard the white belts, you don't roll with the white belts, that's telling on you. It's telling of the kind of person you are. And it's not a good feature or characteristic in my book. Lastly, white belts will keep you honest. You can't coast all the time with the white belts. Some of them you can. Some of them are bigger. Some of them are stronger. Some of them are white belts, but maybe they had a little bit of collegiate wrestling. Some of them are white belts, but maybe they're in the military or a profession that requires physicality, and they come in with a different mindset. So they will keep you honest, where you have to like, okay, they're using 100% of their physical abilities, their strength, their speed, their body. I need to time the things that I need to do better. I need to be able to frame better. I need to protect myself better, because everything that's coming at me is coming at me in a way that is not to the cadence that I'm normally seeing. They don't know how to modulate their strength. They don't know how to modulate their speed. They're dropping down on you in a way that you're like, okay, this isn't great. Like, I wish he wouldn't have dropped all 250 pounds on me. But those are the things that are, you have to keep yourself honest. So when I roll with white belts, defense is top priority. And then I start formulating threats and sweeps and submissions based on my defense. If they make a huge error, I'm taking it. But by far, my number one priority is defense. I want to keep myself safe. I got to go to work. I got to go hang out with the wife. I got to make sure I teach tomorrow or the following day. So priority is not ego. It's keeping myself honest, keeping myself safe. If you're rolling with someone new, don't treat them like a chore. Treat them like someone that you would want to foster, like if you had brought them in yourself. Be kind. Give them a little note of encouragement. Let them know that you're available for questions. Be the person that you would have wished was with you when you first started. Like if you didn't have any friends that brought you into jiu-jitsu, it's a hard sport to get into. And you feel really unsure of yourself. Things feel so foreign. And when someone comes along that just kind of like, hey, if you need anything, any questions, they give you some feedback, they tell you you're doing good, it all feels great. Be that person. If you found that this episode was beneficial to you, please share, like, comment. Those go a long way. I love the way this podcast or audio series is growing. I'm doing a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm interacting with people that I probably wouldn't have interacted before, that maybe didn't know that I was around. This has been incredibly fun for me. Any questions, hit me up on dfm.2099 on Instagram or Threads. Apparently Threads now has a DM section. Whatever. If you want to work with me, private lessons, workshops, or seminars, dfmcoaching.com. Love to hear from you. Thank you.